Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I'm Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about the H1B trap. And essentially most of you may know that H1B is the visa which you need to come to the US and get a job. Essentially, if you have obtained a job in the US from some employer, then you can go to the consulate or embassy nearest you and you can get the US visa for H1B. Now, this visa is typically given to people who have specialized knowledge. It often requires that you have a bachelor's degree, and in fact, in many cases, it's better if you have a master's or PhD degree, because that is certainly going to make it seem to the officers that you are in a very specialized field. Now, do keep in mind that the US employer has to show that they could not find a US citizen or permanent resident to do the job, and therefore some degree of specialization is required. If you are a bachelor's degree person, then you may need to get a few years of experience in your domain in your home country before you plan to apply for the H1B visa. And so if you are somebody who has plans to come to the US to work, then I would suggest that you go for this H1B visa. You can get it for an initial period of 3 years, and then this is renewed for another period of 3 years, so that's a total of 6 years. Your spouse is going to be able to get the H4 visa, and your children under the age of 21 can apply for the H4 visa also. And in the case of your spouse, if they get the H4 visa, they can apply for the EAD card, and after they have got this employment card, they can also get a job in some company. Now, the H1B visa does come with some minimum salary requirements, so keep all those things in mind. It's always good to go with an employer and a good lawyer if you are applying for the H1B visa. Now, the things I'm going to discuss today are all based on my public knowledge and also based on things I have read in public domain. So I would like to say that I'm not an immigration lawyer, so whatever I'm saying, you need to verify this with the internet material, with the USCIS website, and also by consulting an immigration lawyer. That's always the best thing to do. So let's begin. Now, I have made a previous video about how you can enjoy the H1B experience for 6 years, and please take a look at that video. I'm going to put it in the end screen. Now, today I'm going to talk about the fact that the H1B is a dual intent visa, and therefore at the end of 6 years you can easily get the green card if you are planning to do so. So essentially keep in mind that you can apply for the green card as soon as you come in the US on the H1B. In fact, your employer may suggest that you do so because there is a lot of time which is required to get the green card. Now, the main problem is that there are some countries which fall into this H1B trap, and this has happened because there is a requirement that one country cannot have more than 7% of the total green cards given in any year. So what has happened is that some countries such as India, China, Mexico and Philippines are very clogged up, they are very backlisted, and so there are a lot of people seeking green cards here who are in this huge wait list. So as far as Indians are concerned, there are more than 1 million people who are waiting for the green card. Their green card is pending, and according to some reports, it may take up to 134 years for these people to get their green card. And also there is a secondary problem which becomes very important if you are somebody who has come to the US with children who are not US citizens. So in that case, your children will age out after they are 21 years from the H4 status, and they may be forced to return back to their home country, and these guys may have no experience of the home country at that point. So keep some of these things in mind. If you are somebody who has come to the US later in life or who has children, then make it a point to make them quite familiar with your home country so that they are able to go back to the home country, and maybe they can apply for an F1 visa and come back and study in the US. So that is one of the possibilities which they can do. Now, the US government is trying to mitigate this situation. There are a lot of things being considered about removing or expanding this per country quota, but unfortunately there are a lot of people who think this is a good idea. One of the reasons this idea was put in was to make the immigration pool highly diverse, so that citizens from one country do not end up dominating the immigration pool. But what has happened is that you have some very highly populated countries like India and China with populations exceeding 1 billion each, and so therefore the kind of quota which they are giving for India and China is actually very low. Similarly, you have countries like Mexico and Philippines, from where many people want to come to the US and work and get the green card. And again, these countries also get caught up in this 7% quota requirement. So this is something you need to keep in mind. If you are from any of these four countries, then think a lot before you plan to go for the green card, because you may actually be better off by working for 6 years and going back to your home country after saving a lot of money, getting a lot of experience, and so on. So for example, I can talk specifically about the Indian situation. There are many people who have gone back at the end of 6 years and got jobs in various good companies in the Indian cities. For example, they can get jobs in Microsoft, in Google, in Intel, or any of these top companies for that matter. And also there are people who have gone back and started their own companies. So the kind of experience they get in US, it's very easy for them to go back and start their own company. Some of them can even join some academic positions if they have a PhD degree, or if they have master's degree, they can become teachers or lecturers in colleges. So there are a lot of options out there, in which case you can spend 6 years in USA, you can enjoy the best of the things US has to give you, see my video on that, and then you can go back to your home country. Now, in case you decide to stay on in US, I would always suggest that have a plan B, because in case it happens that you do not get the green card for a very long time, things are getting bad in the employment sector, you are not able to get a job for a long time, in case you are laid off, then have a backup plan of going back to your home country, because that is certainly going to help you. It's relatively easy to go back to your home country, because do remember your passport is from that country, and so anytime you want, you can go to the airport and take the flight back. Never look at this as the option which is very negative for you, because do remember, as long as you are not a US citizen, then you are essentially a citizen of a foreign country. So it's like the US is like your wife, but your own country is like your mother, and so your wife may be staying with you, or your wife may leave you, but your mother will always be there for you. So this is something to keep in mind. So I'll end this video here, and I will see you in a video sometime soon. See you then.